Look, if you're watching this video, you probably don't have a ton of money to invest in starting a business right now. And that's okay. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly how to start a real business from scratch, even if you have nothing in your bank account. If it's the first time we meet, my name is Fred, and I've made thousands of dollars a day in profit with my online business selling digital products. Sometimes I've only had to work a few hours a day, and I was also able to travel the world, so I do know a thing or two about making money online. The first thing you need to understand is that you need to sell what people actually want, not what you think they want. You think people want your shitty AliExpress toys or whatever, or that they want your shitty school community with 2 people in it because supposedly it will change their lives, or whatever the fuck that's even supposed to mean. No, that's not how things work. Instead, you need to start talking to people, like go out there and DM people and ask them what they want. And not just that, but what problems are literally ruining their life. And that's what you're going to create your offer around. A deep, nasty, painful problem people are begging to get rid of. Think about every person who became very rich. Bill Gates solved the problem of personal computers being too complicated and inaccessible for the average Joe. Steve Jobs solved the problem of technology not being beautiful and intuitive. They didn't create products they thought were cool. They solved problems that millions of people desperately needed solved. That's the difference between a hobby and a business. A hobby is what you think is interesting, what you'd like to do. It's always about you. A business is what solves a problem people will pay to fix, something they desperately need. I grew up in the low middle class. My dad was a nurse and my mom a nursing assistant. And I saw them working themselves to the bone all day every day. I'm talking about 10, 12-hour night shifts back to back just to keep a roof over our heads and food in our plate. And you know what was the worst part, what killed me inside? Watching them sacrifice everything, their health, their time, their dreams, and we were still barely scraping by. I saw them getting stressed out when the bills piled up. Every night over dinner, they'd talk about the price of things, how everything was so expensive. And that pain drove me to figure out how to break the cycle. And what I learned is this: you need to solve real problems, not sell things people don't need. That's the real difference between people who get filthy rich and people who make a few dollars here and there. If you want to discover how I've made thousands of dollars a day online, I've made a free training that will show you everything step by step. The link will be in the description. And for a limited time, you can also apply to book a free call with me or a member of my team. On that call, we'll see what's blocking you from making more money, and we'll give you a custom step-by-step plan so you can start your business today, even with $0 in startup capital, and get your first customers as quickly as possible. The link is in the description, but be quick because we have very limited spots and they fill up fast. Now, here comes the age-old question. Do you really need money to make money? Well, yes, kind of. If you had $1 million in the bank right now, you could start an e-commerce brand, get into real estate, or start investing in the stock market. But I'm assuming you don't have $1 million right now. I sure as hell didn't when I got started. So what do? You can technically start a business with $0, yes, but it won't be more difficult because you won't be able to get any help. The best thing I ever did, it was to pay for mentors. People who were more successful than me, so I could learn from them. I kid you not when I said that a single call with a more successful stranger changed everything for me and allowed me to increase my income by more than 24,500% in just a month or two. So that's not a small change by any means. All it took was one simple conversation with one person who had already figured out what I was trying to figure out. That's what accelerated my entire journey. Because before that, I was stuck for months, hitting my head against the wall, making the same stupid mistake over and over again. So you have 2 options. One, you try to figure everything out alone. But I'm gonna be honest, that's gonna be pretty hard. 99.9% of people fail. You're gonna make all the mistakes that everyone else already made. You're gonna run out of time. You're gonna waste months, even years of your life, learning lessons that could have been learned in a single conversation. You're also going to end up spending, or should I say wasting, a lot more money than if you were to invest in yourself, because the only way you will learn if you do everything alone is by trial and error, which of course gets pretty expensive when you have no fucking clue what you're doing. Or if you really had no money at all, your other option is to get a fucking job for a little bit, save some money, do whatever it takes so you can invest in yourself, and then you shortcut the process. I'm not saying you need to spend $10,000 on a course or like in investing on your business, but investing a few thousand dollars to learn from someone who's already where you want to be. It is the smartest money you will ever spend. That's what I did, I swear by it. People who are so against investing in themselves, in their education outside of school, guess what? They're always broke. Take what you want from that. Now, there is one advantage to being broke. It forces you to be resourceful, and that can actually be an advantage. When you have no money, You can't waste it on stupid shit. You can't throw money at problems and hope it works out. You have to figure out creative solutions. You have to be smarter. You have to hustle harder. You have to learn faster. Some of the most successful entrepreneurs I know started with nothing, and that includes me. They had to grind their way up, and that hunger, that desperation to succeed, to have less than others, that's what made them unstoppable. Now let me tell you what to actually sell. You always want to sell a digital product instead of a physical product. And when I'm talking about a digital product, I'm not referring to some dumb $10 ebook, buddy. I'm talking about a $1,000 to $10,000 online course with support. For example, you help people lose weight without giving up their favorite foods or having to spend all day at the gym. That's a $1,000 offer easy. You help people understand and invest in the stock market so they can retire early. That's a $2,000 to $8,000 offer. You help coaches get their first 5 clients in 30 days using social media. That's a $3,000 to $5,000 offer. Can you see the pattern? These aren't products. These are transformations. You're not selling information. Everybody can just go ask ChatGPT stuff. You're selling a result, your experience. And when you sell results, you can charge premium prices. The e-learning industry is predicted to reach over $375 billion by 2026 and as much as $950 billion by 2032. While everyone's trying to resell cheap shit from China, you could be capturing your piece of $1 trillion market by selling transformations. If you want to discover how I've made thousands of dollars a day online, I've made a free training that will show you everything step by step. The link will be in the description. And for a limited time, you can also apply to book a free call with me or a member of my team. On that call, we'll see what's blocking you from making more money, and we'll give you a custom step-by-step plan so you can start your business today, even with $0 in startup capital, and get your first customers as quickly as possible. The link is in the description, but be quick because we have very limited spots and they fill up fast. Now, we want to sell our course before we build it. The way you want to sell is through social media content, then getting on calls with qualified leads only and closing the deals with the people who are a good fit, people who actually want your help and can afford it. Only after you've gotten your first client or two do you start building the program. Because if you build it before, you run the risk of wasting all this time creating a fancy product nobody wants or buys. And that's not helping you or the customer. I literally see this all the time. People spend 3 months building a course with 50 modules, all of these bonuses, a fancy member area and everything. Then they launch it and nobody buys. Why? Because they never validated if people actually wanted it. They never tested the offer. They never got feedback. They just assumed they knew what people needed. Don't make that mistake. Here's how you do it right. You create content that talks about the problem you solve. You attract people who've got that problem. You get them on calls when they're qualified, and then you present your offer as the solution and you close them. Then you deliver the transformation live. If it's your first 5 customers, you should probably be working on them one-on-one or in a small group. You figure out what actually works to get them results. Only then do you build a course. You document the process. Only once it's proven it works, you package it into a course or a program that you can scale to the fucking moon. This approach has so many advantages. 1, you're making real money while you build a product. 2, you're building exactly what your customers need because they're telling you in real time. 3, you're getting testimonials and case studies as you go. 4th, you're becoming an expert by actually doing the work instead of just theorizing or reading about it. This is the smartest way to build a business. So let me walk you through the exact steps. Step 1, pick a painful problem you can solve. What keeps your ideal customer up at night? What's costing them money, time, or peace of mind? Step 2, create an offer around that problem. I help specific person to get specific result in specific time frame. You want to keep it as clear as you can and as simple as you can. Step 3, start creating content on one platform. It could be YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or LinkedIn. I recommend YouTube or Instagram. Post daily content that demonstrates you know your stuff and attracts your ideal customers. Step 4, end every piece of content with a call to action. You can say something like, DM me the word start if you want help with this, or link in bio to book a free call. You're moving people from passive viewers to active conversations. Step 5, qualify people in the DMs. The simple truth is that not everybody who reaches out or shows interest is a good fit for what you have to offer. You want to ask them questions to understand their situation. Are they actually struggling with this problem? Can they afford your solution? Are they ready to take action? Those are the people you want. The rest are useless freebie seekers, I'm sorry to say it, that will only waste your time. So avoid those. Step 6, book sales calls with qualified leads. This is where you dive deep into their situation. present your offer, handle objections, and close the deal. Step 7, deliver the transformation. Work with them directly, get them results, document everything. Step 8, use those results to get testimonials and attract more customers. Then you rinse and repeat. That's all you need to make a 100K per month, really. Now I know what you're thinking. But Fred, what if I don't have expertise? What if I'm not an expert at anything? The good news is you don't have to be an expert. You just have to know more than the person you're helping. If you're 10 steps ahead of someone, you can help them with the next 5 steps. That's it. You don't need to be the world's leading authority. You just need to be able to solve the problem they're currently facing. Remember, being broke can be an advantage. Having little to no money forces you to be resourceful, and that's a key trait all successful people share. When I started, I had no budget for ads, for example. So I went all in on organic content. I posted every single day. I reached out to people manually. I had conversations with people. I built relationships. And that organic foundation is what allowed me to scale later. Because when you start with paid ads, you're dependent on them. But when you master organic, you can always generate leads and clients for free, even though sure it comes with cons. And you can make your advertising cheaper too. So you're literally getting the best of both worlds. Look, starting a one-person business with $0 isn't easy, but it is possible. I've done it. Hundreds of my students have done it. The key is focusing on the right things, not on physical products with terrible margins, not low-ticket offers that require massive volume and a big audience already. I'm talking about high-ticket digital products that solve painful problems. That's how you build actual wealth quickly, starting from nothing. If you want to discover how I've made thousands of dollars a day online, I've made a free training that will show you everything step by step. The link will be in the description. And for a limited time, you can also apply to book a free call with me or a member of my team. On that call, we'll see what's blocking you from making more money, and we'll give you a custom step-by-step plan so you can start your business today, even with $0 in startup capital, and get your first customers as quickly as possible. The link is in the description, but be quick because we have very limited spots and they fill up fast. So here's what I want you to do after watching this video. Identify the painful problem you're going to solve. Write down who your ideal customer is and what transformation you're going to help them to achieve. And then you want to start creating content today to help that person. It doesn't need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent. And start having conversations with people who might need your help. Get on calls, present your offer, close deals, deliver results, get testimonials, scale. That's the formula. That's all you need to go from 0 to 10K to 100K per month.